I've said it a lot, and I'm gonna say it again. None of us, not one person in this room could have pictured where you are right now 12 months ago. None of you. Good, bad, or indifferent, none of you could have imagined where you are right now. Then think about who you were 12 months ago and what you knew and what you believed in and your confidence level and your ability to make decisions and your ability to show up and your ability to deliver on what you thought you wanted when you had no fucking idea even what that meant. And here you are 12 months later. I've worked with all of you in the last year, almost scared about what you're capable of. But what I want to commend you guys on is the fact that you guys have showed up to sharpen your axe. I heard a story the other day Simon Sinek was talking about, and I thought it was very relevant, so I'm gonna share it with you. It's a story of two lumberjacks. Two lumberjacks show up to work at the same time every day, and they leave work at the same time every day. One of those lumberjacks leaves for an hour every day at lunch. And every day that lumberjack cuts down more wood than the other guy. And so the other guy comes to him and goes, hey man, like I'm here all day, you leave for an hour, and you cut down more wood than I do. How? How are you doing that? And the lumberjack looks like it. I go home every day at lunch and sharpen my axe. And all of you have done that over the last year. You've taken time out of your business when you thought you couldn't. You've taken time for yourself when you thought you couldn't. You've shown up for yourself, for your business, for your people, for your spouse, for whoever that is. You've sharpened your axe this year. Getting chills just thinking about it, man. Like, the stories in this room have changed my life because I got a front row seat to all of it. And so I challenge you guys going into next year, figuring out how are you going to sharpen your axe again. Because here's the reality. The journey is long, but the decisions are short. Win fast, win often is a mindset around showing up for the next decision. That's it. Many of you learned that this year. Just being intentional one fucking day at a time has overcome every big obstacle you thought you had to deal with. Winning the next decision. And even talking today, for me, like, you guys have heard me talk at you and to you and through social media for like the last 2 or 3 years, most of you. And you're still trying to overcomplicate a lot of shit. Win fast, win often. It's not just a tagline, it's a lifestyle. It's a survival mechanism. It's a way that I go about helping you guys minimize the approach, minimize the decision making, because if you can just look at this or this, which one aligns with who I want to be? Which one aligns with my core values? Which one aligns with my mission? When you get that granular, it becomes simple. If you go, well, if I go this route, maybe I'll get there. If I go this route, maybe I'll get there. And I don't know which one's better because you don't know where the fuck you're going. You're gonna hear me talk about these two things a lot over the next year. What does success look like to you? And how are we measuring it? But if you can't tell me in detail what does success look like and how are you measuring it, neither one of us will know whether or not you're on the right path. Neither one of us will know whether or not you're growing, whether or not you're successful, whether or not you're figuring it out, whether or not you're making the good decisions. Because you've done a lot over the last 12 months, over the last 3 years, over the last 10 years. Like, take 20 seconds and think about where you were 3 years ago. What you knew, what you had, what you believed, the confidence. Probably a pretty ugly fight, right? 3 years ago. Well, if today is day one of the next 3 years and you couldn't have imagined where you are right now, what could you accomplish in the next 3? I truly believe, and I've been saying this for a while, I don't think any of us are capable of fully visualizing 3 years from right now. The original thought for Champion Circle for 2022 was 20 members. By the time it's said and done, we're gonna have close to 50. If I can't even have pictured 12 months, how can I picture 3 years? But what I've done a good job at, and what many of you have started to do a good job at, is comparing what you're doing today to who you want to be and what you want to be known for, to the core values you've built. Everybody in this room that has taken core values seriously has changed their entire ecosystem. Some of you have newly just figured it out. Talk to some people in this room about how they've implemented core values. I see a lot of people shaking their heads. It changes your life. Because what it does is it teaches not just you, it teaches your entire organization how to make decisions to make sure you're staying on track. Because you can't be there all the time. Many of you were technicians last year, and now you are CEOs. What? Who would have thunk? How could we, what? Trucks? People? Team meetings? I used to just get up and eat breakfast. But now you have to figure out, what does success look like? And I promise you right now, it's not a revenue number. It's not an employee count. It's not a client base. It's not an accomplishment. It's not a house. It's not a car. It's how do you want to feel on the journey? What do you want to be known for? Like when people think of you or see your brand or see your face or see you on social media, what do you want them to think? How do you want to be remembered? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to impact? What does success look like to you? I promise you, has nothing to do with money. And everybody in this room who no longer is worried about paying their mortgage payment knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anybody who's still worried about their mortgage payment, just keep going. Because the other side of that stress, many of you have experienced it now, it's a no man's land if you're not fucking locked in. Because you get so focused on, well, how do I make payroll, or how do I get my bills, or how do I get that client, or close that big deal, and then like you've already fucking been, like you're already mad about it because like now I got to deliver on this $50,000 contract. It's scary. But like the minute you get that, this is the deal. If I get this deal, this is success, then I'll be happy and it'll be easy. Duh, not. So if you don't know what success looks like to you, what do you look like? Who are you around? How are you communicating? Not just externally, but in here. Looking at a lot of the clients I've talked to about what's the biggest takeaway from this year of working with me has been, you've taught me how to make decisions and say no for what I believe in. You can't understand the compound effect of that decision, of that skill set, of the ability to understand what does a good and bad decision look like for me. Because those good decisions start piling up. Those good decisions start surprising you. I'm gonna call him out. Kenny made a post this morning. He had a pretty rough day. Personal issues, business issues. But he made the decision to come here and the universe paid him back with a big ass deal last night. That one of his employees closed. Like he didn't even have employees that long ago. And now he's worried about coming to an event, made the decision to make the decision. Right, which is part of it. Making a decision to make a decision is part of it. So many of you get stagnant and stuck and confused and frustrated, and you just don't know because you have not made a decision of what does success look like in my life.